Ayo, what's up and welcome. I'm the one and only West Coast King, and today we are talking Seattle Sounders. This video has been a long time coming, at least this season. It has been. It's been something that's been eating away at me. This team, I guess, in general has been eating away at me. It's been eating away at my freaking soul this year. But we're going to get into it today. We're going to get into it all. What our problems have been, what's going wrong, what we can be doing right now that could be better to fix what's happening with the team that we have, and maybe what we could do in the upcoming transfer window to improve the team even more and actually maybe turn this season around. It's not too late. Believe it or not, it is not too late. We can still get back into this thing. It's just going to take a lot of doing. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. So I guess the best place to start, really, and I guess the thing that triggered this and set me on this path to actually making this video was last night. The Sounders lost to Sacramento Republic of the USL in the US Open Cup 2-1 in extra time. So I guess the only difference between that US Open Cup match and the rest of our season, or the last 6 or 7 matches, is that we actually scored a goal. Not that it was a great goal. It was a very lucky, deflected, stoppage time equalizer that we didn't deserve and had no business getting. I mean, I was actually upset. I was actually upset that we did score. Sacramento fully deserved to win that game. They were better than us for like 80 of the first 90 minutes. The very beginning of the second half, we had a good spell of possession. We looked a bit threatening. We created a couple of opportunities. Not very great chances at all, but we again didn't make anything of it, and then they just went right back to dominating us again. Sacramento probably should have won that game 3 or 4-0 if it wasn't for Brian Meredith standing on his freaking skull in net for us, making some insane saves. It would have been a lot worse than it was, and Sacramento would have run away with that, and they deserved to. I'd say the only real bright spot from that one was Ray Sari in midfield for us. An S2 call-up that we called up for this US Open Cup match. He was the best player on the field for us. Maybe outside of Brian Meredith. We'll say he was the best outfield player that was on the pitch for us. Maybe the best player on the pitch in general, in total. I would say Iwasa was probably man of the match for Sacramento. He was great. He scored himself a goal. He was a nuisance all game long. He was very, very good. That Sacramento team was very, very good. But Ray Sari's performance in midfield was spectacular. He was all over the place. Getting back on defense, he made some great plays. Going forward, he provided options for the team. Not that we went forward very often, but he was at least involved in every aspect of the game. So his performance surprised me because I hadn't seen him ever play before, and impressed me very, very much so. And I know that the Sounders have a complete logjam of players in the central midfield positions, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ray Sari got himself a call-up very, very soon to the senior team. He just turned 23 years old. He's looking to maybe, from what I've heard, he's just starting to hit his stride and really starting to put it all together for himself. And I would like to see him on a more regular basis, if I'm honest. He was very, very exciting. There were a few other players, of course, that did play well. Henry Wingo, again, was pretty decent. He lost possession a lot, but that was mostly because he was one of the only players trying to actually move the ball forward. And at times, he had to do it by himself because no one was giving him any options. The team was just so stagnant all over the place. There was no movement. There was no runs being made. So sometimes Henry Wingo had to do it all by himself. But again, he was at least looking to be creative and looking to make a positive impact. And actually, Harry Shipp, when he came on later in the game, was very good. He was another player that looked to move the ball forward. There'd be like 5 back passes in a row, and then Harry Shipp would pick the ball up and then move it forward again. So I was very impressed with him. He did end up getting, I guess, credit for the goal that we scored. It was a Harry Shipp Sounders goal. Just a shot from distance, took a deflection, wrong-footed the goalkeeper, went in the back of the net. Luck, if anything, but it was a goal. At this point, we'll take anything we get. But yeah, Harry Shipp and Henry Wingo were actually pretty decent for us as well. But there were, of course, problems. And the problems that we're having were the same in this game as they have been for the last month and a half with the senior team. And that is, offensively, there's no identity to this team. There is no concept of what they want to do when they have possession. They value possession so highly that they'd rather make 5 back passes than try to take a chance and go forward. There's no creativity. There's no ambition. There's no movement. It's just absolutely stagnant and stale. It's very predictable. Teams don't even have to really move to stop us. They just have to be in front of us, because if they're in front of us, we instantly pass the ball backwards. Sometimes when there's space in front of players who are on the ball, they don't even take the space in front of them, they pass the ball backwards. It's very, very frustrating to watch. And I think one of the biggest problems that is leading to this is, of course, and I've talked about it a lot, it is the main reason for our struggles this year, and that is injuries. Without Nico Lodeiro, primarily, he is our best playmaker, our most creative player, and the one who really orchestrates the offense. And also, secondarily, it's Ozzy Alonso. He's the one that gets the ball from the back to the midfield, and then Nico Lodeiro kind of takes over from there and moves the ball forward again. Without both of them, this team is dead in the water. Without one of them, it's bad. Without both, it's dead. It's literally dead. We don't score. We don't score at all. So it's a massive problem. The injuries are really, really an issue. And one of the main things that's also scaring me a lot is that it doesn't seem like anyone knows when Nico Lodeiro is coming back. Brian Schmetzer recently, I think 2 days ago, he was interviewed about Nico Lodeiro. Apparently Nico is still in Uruguay, maybe taking part in a match today with the Uruguayan national team, but he still has a broken toe. No one seems to know if he's healthy or not. He's not going to the World Cup with Uruguay, which is unfortunate for him, but a godsend for the Sounders. I mean, again, that is if he is coming back. It sounds like he might come back, and then he's available this weekend against DC United, or he's not. He's staying there and playing today for Uruguay. I don't know. That's very, very scary for me, but I would assume sooner rather than later he will rejoin the team. Even if it is after this weekend, he'll be back, and if he stays healthy, which he has done for the most part since he's come here, he's definitely going to improve this team a lot. No idea what's going on with Ozzy Alonso. At this point, I'd almost say it's time to maybe move on from Ozzy, and I hate to say that. I really do. I don't want to say that because he is one of my favorite Sounders of all time. But given how many central midfielders we have, and even Ray Sarri, I'm not saying he's going to come in and fix everything, but he was exciting and he created a spark in that midfield. Maybe it's time to try to reestablish a new pairing in there, Christian Roldan and player X, somebody else, because I just don't know about Ozzy Alonso anymore. Something else that I kind of have avoided the subject, but I kind of went off on Twitter last night after the match, and that is Brian Schmetzer is gonna have to take some of the blame here. It's not all his fault. It really, really is not. I do not approve of teams firing managers after a slow start, especially given the success some of the managers have had, especially Brian Schmetzer. Look, he's been to 2 straight MLS Cup finals, won a title for this team. There's no way I think that we fire him this year unless this thing really snowballs. But some of the blame does have to lay with him. I don't think he's getting the most out of what he has. What he has isn't a lot. Is a lot of people missing with injury, but I think he could be getting a little bit more. And I don't think he's utilizing the players at his disposal in the best possible way. And what I mean by that is playing Christian Roldan out wide, that is not something that should happen. He's the best player currently healthy for the Sounders. Play him in his best position and get the best out of him. Don't move him to try to fix another problem. Allow him to play where he's comfortable at his best, and that is in the central midfield, in a holding position, and getting up and down the pitch, box to box. That is Christian Roldan. Don't play him on the wing. And his brother, Alex Roldan, I don't know what Brian Schmetzer's infatuation is with him, or why he's getting so much playing time as a rookie, but I tend to want to see someone else over there. He's playing Alex Roldan in a wide midfield position as well. It's a position he can play, but it's maybe not his best either. In the game last night, he came in for Lamar Nagel, who got hurt. We started in a 4-4-2. Nagel was playing up top with Felix Chenkum. Nagel went down. We brought in Alex Roldan. He played in kind of the cam position. We went back to the 4-2-3-1 that we typically see out of the Sounders. And he was actually a little bit better than what I normally see out of him. So I don't want to see Alex Roldan out on the wing anymore either. Why not play Henry Wingo out there, who, when he plays, he's one of our most creative players. He puts in good crosses into the box. He at least makes a positive impact on the wing and gives us pace out there, which is something we desperately, desperately need. I think that Victor Rodriguez coming back is going to be a huge, huge upgrade as well, because it gives us an actual winger to play out there. He's not fast, I wouldn't say, but he is pretty quick. He has a good first step. He's shifty. He can make things happen. So that should add a little bit more creativity as well. So if we just need a winger. I know Ndwala Bwana just got hurt, but maybe Henry Wingo. I'm not sure. There's not a lot of options, but we do have a few that's not named Roldan. So please stop playing the Roldans out wide. So moving forward into the upcoming transfer window, how do we fix this thing? How do we bring in some new players to fill in and create a winning team once again? Well, the first thing is, and I'm actually a little bit relieved by this, is that everyone seems to know that there is a problem. All the way from Adrian Hanauer, the majority owner, to Gareth Lagerwey, the president of operations. He's basically the general manager. He's the one that kind of brings the players in and whatnot. They all seem to know that there is a fundamental flaw with this team, and they are committed to resolving it, which is very, very nice to hear. It gives us a little bit of peace of mind. And given their history, even in the last 2 years, I'm fairly confident that they're going to figure this whole thing out. And I guess when you look at the team, what positions do we most need right now? We don't have a striker. And I know everyone's going to kind of pick on that position with Will Bruin's injuries this year and the lack of depth behind him. And there is a significant lack of depth in that position, with Jordan Morris already out, of course. I don't know if that position itself, even if we bring in a designated player, and they said they're going to make an 8-figure investment in a designated player this summer, I don't think that just that position is going to fix everything. And they also said that they're going to make that big investment in a designated player plus maybe one or two other ones. We have to have more options on the wing. And it has to be somebody with some kind of pace that's going to bring something different to the team. With Jordan Morris out, I know he was in horrific goal scoring form last year, but the pace he brought onto the pitch made defenses respect that and gave us something else. I mean, they have to respect that pace. If he gets in behind you, you're in a lot of trouble. They had to play a little bit deeper to respect that. Without any pace on the field, they're playing higher up, a higher line, and they're pinning us deep, which is another reason why we can't move the ball past the midway line. So it has to have we have to get somebody with pace that can play out on the wing. And then I would say the designated player is probably going to be a striker. I like Will Bruin. I've always said I liked Will Bruin. He's not a prolific goal scorer, though, and he is seemingly very injury prone. In his 1.5 years, not even 1.5 years here, he's been injury prone. So it has to. I think that the designated player is going to be a striker, but a striker alone is not going to fix this thing. And I think that everyone knows that. And again, I do think that they're going to make the right choices and bring in the right players to fix this thing. So that is kind of all I have to talk about for today. I probably forgot some stuff that I wanted to hit on. There was a lot to get to, but I do feel a little bit better getting that off my chest and kind of putting it all out there. So I do want to hear from you guys, though, down in the comments section below. What do you guys think, Sounders fans? What do you think we could be doing better right now with the players that we have available? Maybe once Nico comes back, everything kind of settles down and we actually can score some goals. I mean, that is definitely the fatal flaw of this team right now is lack of any kind of creativity offensively. But let me know what you think we could be doing better with the team that we have, and maybe some players that you think that the Sounders could go after, because I haven't heard anything as far as specific players, any rumors that the Sounders are looking at specifically. So maybe if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments below who you think could really, really help this team and keep them realistic. I'd love to have Cristiano Ronaldo in Seattle. It's not going to happen, though. So let me know if you have any actual realistic ideas for the Sounders, for players to bring in this upcoming transfer window. So that is it for this one. If you did enjoy it, make sure to let me know by leaving a like below. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you when we come back and hopefully have a little bit of a brighter outlook with Seattle. See ya.